So much for the preseason narrative of Lamar Jackson being overrated. The reigning Heisman Trophy winner beginning the new season by taking it right to his critics. Big numbers against Purdue last week, even bigger numbers against North Carolina today. Cardinals playing their ACC opener down in Chapel Hill. It did not take long for Lamar to get comfortable. First quarter, Cards down 4. Jackson finds Dez Fitzpatrick for the 9-yard touchdown. That put Louisville in front 10-7. Jackson just getting started. Zip to the second. Perfect pass here to Jalen Smith. 75-yard strike. Jackson 393 passing yards. Louisville was up 6 at the break. Second half, Jackson getting it done on the ground. Now you don't see him, and there he is. Jackson, a 43-yard score. He ran for 132 yards. At this point, Louisville was up 13, but it was far from over. UNC rallying in the third. Brandon Harris, Thomas Jackson. The Tar Heels actually regained the lead. It was 28-27. Then Jackson said, enough. Fourth quarter, another touchdown to Fitzpatrick. Jackson today became only the second FBS quarterback to throw for more than 300 yards and rush for 100 more in back-to-back games. He also finished with 6 touchdowns. That there sealed it in the fourth. Louisville wins 47-35. Tom Lane and Eric Crawford have more on Lamar's big day. It's a big game ahead. Contrary to popular belief, Eastern Kentucky does not come to Kroger Field just to pick up a loss and a paycheck. Last time they were there in 2015, the FCS Colonels actually took the Cats to OT before coming up short. This year they returned, and they were hungry for an upset. Certainly a weird one in Lexington today. UK was up 3-0 in the first quarter. That's when EKU started to make a little noise. Tim Boyle to Ryan Marcouche from 7 yards out. That made it 7-3 Colonels. Second quarter, former U of L Cardinal L.J. Scott getting in the fun. A 7-yard score here. It was 13-3 EKU. What is going on? Just before the half, UK starts to wake up. Steven Johnson to C.J. Conrad. Cats are only down 3 at the break. Now, 16-10 EKU in the third. We got a Benny Snell Jr. sighting. He was limited with bruised ribs, but he looked good there. 25 was 103 total yards. That made it 17-16 Cats. Fourth quarter, UK looking to put it away. Johnson says, I got this. 21-yard touchdown. Cats now 2-0 with a 27-16 hard-fought win. John Lewis in Lexington now with the postgame. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but they will take it. Well, we got much more football to come tonight. IU able to get their first win of the year, but now there may be a quarterback controversy on the horizon. Details next. Well, as one might expect, IU wasn't happy following their season-opening loss to Ohio State, but they weren't panicking. Fact is, the Hoosiers not only hung with the second-ranked Buckeyes, they actually led at one point in the second half. Certainly a lot to build on. The team hoping to get that first win in the Tom Allen era today in Virginia. But early on, things did not look good. After a couple of scoreless drives, Richard Lego gets picked off in the second quarter. He was just 3 of 10 at that point, and apparently Allen saw enough because that was the end of Lego's day. Enter freshman Peyton Ramsey. And surprise, surprise, the kid looked like a vet. Find Simmie Cobbs Jr. here, and Cobbs, he does the rest. Somehow stays on his feet. It's a 29-yard touchdown. It was the first of 2 passing TDs from Ramsey, who also had 173 yards in the air. That put the Hoosiers up 7-3 in the second. Bit later, IU on the move again. This time Ramsey off play action. Decides to take it himself. He'd run for a 26-yard touchdown. Hoosiers behind Ramsey take it 34-17. Don't think for a second Allen is going to make a switch at quarterback.
Oh, Richard's a starter. Yeah, I don't think that's, I mean, hey, you got 2 quarterbacks. That's a great thing. One throws it really well, one can run a little bit too and throw it well as well. So, Richard's a starting quarterback.
Well, there you go. That's settled. Western Kentucky, meanwhile, in action as we speak. The Hilltoppers were 0-6 all-time against Big Ten teams. Tonight, they were hoping to finally get that first one. WKU actually opened up as the favorite on the road against the Illini. But in the first half, they were in trouble. Mike White pinned up against his own end zone and, throws it away. Julian Jones, easy pick 6. That made it 13-0 Illini. Think couldn't get any worse for White? think again. Ensuing WKU drive, they get inside the red zone, and that happened. Loses the ball. It's recovered by the Illini. They led at the half 13-0. Right now it is 20-0 in the third. Well, switching to soccer, Louisville City is in a fight in the USL East. The boys in purple entered today, tied with Charleston for the top spot with just over a month to go in the regular season. Louisville at Pittsburgh tonight. Everything was going according to plan in the first half. 33rd minute. Look at this pass here from Mark Anthony Kaye. Beautiful. Luke Spencer, that's a goal. Louisville up 1-0. That was Spencer's 9th of the season. Just for the half, Louisville attacking again off the deflection. Kyle Smith recovering and scoring his second of the year. Lou City would go on to win 3-0. The victory now puts Lou City in first possession of first place. More soccer now. Big matchup tonight at Lynn Stadium. The 8th-ranked Cardinals home for 2nd-ranked Wake Forest. Let's head back to Lynn, where in the first half, Louisville put itself in a hole. A red card against Tim Kubel. He is done for the night. Louisville forced to play the rest of the way, a man down. And Wake would take advantage. Second half, how about the passing here? In the 55th minute, Emu Tomasi would end up with it, and he would score. Wake Forest would go on to win by the final of 3-1. Finally tonight, huge upset in the world of high school volleyball happened at the Louisville Invitational Volleyball Tournament. Assumption was the #1 team taking on Walton out of Marietta, Georgia. The Rockets battled, but in the end, it was not enough as they would fall in straight sets. That was Assumption's very first loss of the season. And that is it for sports tonight. Bengals and Colts opening up the NFL season tomorrow. Be sure to come right back here for all the highlights and reaction. And one more thing. There's also talk that ESPN College Game Day could return to Louisville next week for the matchup against Clemson. I will have an update and the latest on that tomorrow during sports. Have a good night.